Welcome to the first afternoon session. I'll just briefly introduce myself. My name is Mike Piper. I work at CXR Biosciences. For those of you who don't know CXR, we're based here in Dundee. We're a company, a biotech company that specialises in providing preclinical products and services to the pharmaceutical, biotechnology and agrochemical industries, particularly around mechanistic toxicology. We also have a separate drug development unit with an oncology pipeline. I'm very glad to have been asked to chair this session because I have to say the overall topic of this session is something which is very close to my heart, which is something I'm quite passionate about, which is how do we turn IP, new technologies, really ideas, into the successful products and the successful companies of the future. And obviously if we all knew how to do that, we'd all be very, very rich. I think we're lucky to have two speakers who have got a lot of expertise in this and are going to come at it from really quite different ends of the process as well. So we have one speaker who's going to talk about early models of IP commercialisation, getting that IP off the ground, and one speaker who's going to talk really much more around later stage, more mature companies, more mature technologies and the funding environment for them. So hopefully we'll have some lively discussion at the end, but without further ado, I'd like to pass you over to our first speaker, John Mackenzie of Research and Innovation Services.
Thanks, Mike. I must say, when you're down there listening to the music, it sounds nice and fine, but when you're up here, you don't appreciate just how dramatic it is, you know. So it's quite a build-up. Anyway, I'm pleased to be here to share some of our latest models that we've been working on. This is the graveyard shift, of course, and just after lunch. So I'll speak loud and fast so that nobody's caught nodding off. In particular, if there's, and there will be SMEs in the audience, this is reaching out to companies such as yourselves. And it's a model that we want to share with you as we get it off the ground this year. Title, the BioPortal Dundee's novel IP access model for Scottish SMEs. I think inherent in this is the continued theme of collaboration, partnership, and this is no different. I think in this day and age we have to work together more often, and this is our latest model to share with you. I'm down in the programme as Company Development Manager, and just to confuse you, I also double up as Incubator Manager. I look after this building here where the portal is actually based. But I've got a new title, Head of Knowledge Exchange, which means I'm carrying on doing the same sort of day job, but just encompasses a much more wide-ranging portfolio of work. As I say, this reaches out to SMEs. Hopefully, you'll know who you are. Definition of SMEs from Europe, effectively less than 250 employees, turnover less than 50 million euros, and balance sheets of less than 43 million. So if you're following that category, then we want to be talking to you. We want you to come to us as well as us proactively approach you. Malcolm very kindly waxed lyrical about the DSTT, and it's nice to see we're joined up in our presentations. I'm not going to repeat that message, but what's coming out in this particular theme is that, as Malcolm will attest, I think it's affectionately known as the Dundee model, but it's got a particular focus on international, multinational companies, research collaboration, pre-competitive collaboration. Of course, the Dundee model, DSTT started in 1998, and it was predated by previous consortia, involving Roland as well. So, it's been around for a long time. So, but we're always learning lessons and always trying to sort of, replicate good ideas and best practice. And so, the latest model to come out of Dundee is the BioPortal. And specifically, we're looking to facilitate innovation, growth, and collaboration by providing easy access to intellectual property for the Scottish life science biomedical SMEs. So that's our target, that's our audience, and that's what we're focused on. We're trying to sort of take a more SME-friendly perspective. I'd like to set the scene a little bit. The BioPortal is, soft launch here today. It's a good opportunity. It's a good platform for us to share our latest model. But if we go back, August 2007, that's when we first came up with the innovation portal. And it's a precursor to the BioPortal, as you'll discover. Effectively, we brought together partners in Dundee, Tayside, specifically the three HEIs, University of Dundee, University of Abertay Dundee, and James Hutton Institute, formerly SCRI, Scots Research Institute. The objective was to promote and foster productive knowledge transfer between the partners and the Scottish SMEs in all sectors. So it's trying to sort of provide a gateway into the partners and open up for business. With the SMEs very much in mind, try and improve their competitiveness, productivity and profitability. SMEs, of all businesses in Europe, UK and Scotland, SMEs make up 99% of businesses. So they're the lifeblood of any economy, and Scotland's no different. And certainly the Scottish Government are pushing that, and we're responding like anybody else. For the institutions, we're looking at establishing longer-term strategic relationships with any business, but why not SMEs equally? And basically bringing the Scottish SMEs and the Tayside HEIs together through the portal was the essence behind this project. And looking to build long-term capacity for research and innovation in SMEs. So we're trying to encourage R&D in the SME community. We're working to key performance indicators, same as in business, no doubt. And in the 3.5 years or so that we've been in business, this is some of the sort of results that we've already delivered. It's been independently reviewed and confirmed, and we've secured the follow-on funding as a result, not least. So we feel we're delivering, and we feel we're building on some success here. And the Innovation Portal was a pilot, and equally it's a transferable model that we're looking now to take in and provide the BioPortal as a platform to build on. Not expect you to read all these various parameters here, but creating jobs, creating wealth, encouraging R&D. There are some good figures there. Dealing with businesses, so we're collating all of that, and we're responsible to our funders, not least. But these are just some of the outputs that we can attribute, and frankly, they're quite conservative. When we had the evaluation, there's scientific modelling that will tell you how much impact pound bang for your buck that you're getting, and all these are physical, tangible projects that we can reach through to. So an encouraging one is the just under £3.5 million in terms of R&D that we've kind of fostered within the SMEs that we've kind of worked with. So that's particularly pleasing. So in terms of the BioPortal, the concept, we're always looking to see if we can't work better with SMEs, and that was a key to where we are now. Successfully piloted the Innovation Portal. It's a working model, and it's been well received in the community, locally and nationally across Scotland, because it is a pan-Scotland initiative. Extending this model, specifically focusing on the biosector, targeting Scottish life science, biomedical SMEs. Those of you that are in the room here today, for instance, don't leave today or tonight without speaking to myself or one or two of my colleagues, because it might be worth your while. We had high-level discussions with the existing partners that have introduced, and of course we've added Bio-Dundee, responsible for bringing us all together here today, not least, which brings the Dundee City Council. So Tayside as a region, we're working together and trying to harness what we've got and shape it and make it fit better for the needs of business. Because the business that we're in, we identify the sector barriers. We know them, we see them day in, day out. We see them from our perspective. We also see them from SME's perspective as well. So knowing, what is required means we're in a better position to actually address that. And of course, identifying life sciences strengths and assets of our partners, in particular our IP portfolios and our postdocs. We felt, okay, there may be something in this mix here that we can bring together and harness and try and capture and provide an outlet for Scottish business. So we secured funding. just over £1 million from the European Regional Development Fund and the Scottish Government, the SECRET programme. That was in 2010. And we now have, we feel, a tailored SME service, specifically targeting the biosector, of course. Key to that is the recruitment of dedicated SME business development managers, effectively. In the audience, we've got Fabian and Jamie, who are both in the portal, but there's no substitute for people on the ground, the face-to-face, that actually take a proactive approach and reach out to business and take the pain out of dealing with universities, administration, bureaucracy. You know, we can sort of take a lot of that on board, and you know, I think this is key to success to date and potential success. And importantly, you know, these SME business development managers are well integrated with the technology transfer offices, so they get an insight and a visibility to our portfolios, and they get to meet and know our business development managers who work in each of the colleges. And of course, that's in Dundee in particular. It's also the University of Dundee. We are including our partners Abertay Dundee and JHI in that as well. But University of Dundee is the lead in this, so there's much more natural fit, I think, in the first instance to get to know University of Dundee's Technology Transfer Office. And we've got grants available for the purposes. It's a nice little carrot to dangle in front of an SME to buy out some time of everybody and open that door that may lead to some bigger and better things. So it's a brokering service, trying to sort of match business needs with partner capabilities. That's what we're trying to harness here. We recognise the barriers that exist. I alluded to that earlier, and they'll be familiar with yourselves, certainly the SMEs in the audience, the high risks and costs that are associated with life science technology development. You know, this is clear, it's undeniable. The financial, human and skill shortages experienced by the SMEs as well. You know, it's time and resource is at a premium, and money is scarce. And quite apart from that, even having the resource, you know, the ability to identify and access novel technologies from wherever, universities or any other source, that's a particular resource constraint. You know, it's finding what you're looking for, knowing what you're looking for, and being able to go out and get it. So we certainly identify these as more obvious barriers. And in order to overcome these barriers, you know, it's about making access to our IP easier. It's easier access to valuable and viable IP. You know, the IP that's got a value. We're not giving it away, but you know, we're making it available through the sort of the BioPortal, as you'll discover. And we can naturally capture a pool of postdocs, you know, within the universities. They're existing, and you know, being able to identify those that have got maybe some career aspirations or looking for a new challenge in business, then you know, we can identify them and collate them and see if we can sort of match them with IP and have some grant in order to enable that to happen. So the financial assistance is another component that we bring, we feel, to the table here that will help, and we believe, in overcoming said barriers. Some of the features of the BioPortal to date: a genuine working Tayside partnership. I can't undersell that. It's professional, as you'd expect. We have project steering groups that meet sort of quarterly with representatives from each of the partners. But it's personable as well, and it's productive. I think there's real value, real contribution at that sort of steering level, and you know, I think that bodes well for our region in itself. You know, bringing together you know, big institutes under sort of the one umbrella in order to try and you know, deal with the Scottish business community. So you know, I think that works really well, and I'm very pleased about that. Local knowledge of IP and the research capability base. You know, if you're here and you're working in it and you're part of it, you're intimate with it. It's extensive knowledge, and you can't undervalue that. you know, being on the ground and hearing your colleagues and who are bringing projects at very early stage as well as latter stage to the table, being party to that is very important. And that's where the integration of the SME business development managers, they get a visibility and an insight into what's there. A lot of it is early stage, make no mistake, and a lot of it's not appropriate for SMEs. But we can do a triage, a filtering system, and identify that which potentially might be valuable to SMEs, and we can work with these SMEs to help develop that. It's a flexible innovation model. It's not prescriptive. It's really relationships are key here. Trust, confidence, respect, mutual, understanding the issues from either parties. We can shape a project with the business in a shape and a form that we believe that can work and lead to further funding and ultimately new products and processes that get out to market. And underpinning that is the easier and increased IP access. We've got portfolios of patents at different stages. It's available, for license, which we do, but we license to anybody, everybody. But we can identify SMEs to see if there's a place for them to be at the table. We look to leverage our IP in whatever shape or form, and pre-competitive research collaboration models are no different. If the IP is working, then that's good. But let's see if we can't reach out to the SMEs and open the door to them and see if they can't work with us. Some of the benefits, such technologies that we've identified will be developed on a joint risk and reward basis. We can transfer the knowledge through our postdoc placements, we believe, so that complements the technology. The technical skills are there, and there's an aspiration to be more entrepreneurial and business-minded in our postdocs, so that's got to add value. And with our postdocs, in terms of creating jobs, they get business entrepreneurial skills and new career opportunities. So there's pluses in many sides. We feel that is an advantage for everybody. So just a wee recap, basically. The BioPortal Dundee's novel IP access model for Scottish SMEs. It effectively, securing the funding allowed us to continue the good work of the Innovation Portal and the small grant scheme that went alongside that, and that was focusing on all sectors. But now we're in a position with the BioPortal project to pilot a new novel IP access model. So we're proactive and focused and targeted on the ground with a view to sort of making this happen. And we feel it's designed to address the specific barriers that we've identified in consultation with partners and in our own experience and with business we've dealt with many times over. And effective technology transfer from the research institutes into SMEs. The next few slides now are basically just going to give you a flavour of what's on offer insofar as the portal goes, what we can do with you, for you, and we'll just follow through in terms of the BioKT Development Fund, which is a new additional component to our small grant scheme, and I'll introduce you to a couple of case studies that we have run with the technology feasibility studies. We haven't got any case studies in the BioKT fund just yet. We've only just kind of starting out. So, but speak to us later, and if there's something in the making there, we'll be pleased to hear from you. And just summing up, again, this increased SME access to Tayside HEI Life Sciences space, and I'll let you know who we are and how to get in touch as well. What we do, 4 components perhaps, specific innovation projects, looking to help SMEs identify a new product, service or process taken from an idea through to a funded collaboration. Ultimately, if it goes all the way to that point, then great. It might not get past the first hurdle, that's fine as well. We've examined it, we've talked to you, but we work with the companies to identify something that's of value to them, innovative to them. It's got to be innovative, and in speaking to the companies, we know what the institutions have at their disposal. We equally identify the academic expertise that is available to our SMEs. The knowledge, the facilities, and the skills to perform a specific piece of R&D. You know, the major criticism of the businesses are that they don't have an R&D function. They don't innovate as much as they should or could. Yet the HEIs are great at that, you know. And why not sort of put the two together and try and sort of translate some of the activity within the universities into the businesses and get that sort of mentality going. So we can identify the academic expertise. That the key to this is those that are ready, willing and able to work with business. You know, we've got many departments and schools and colleges at each of the universities that are well focused on the research and necessarily blinkered in order to deliver on that, and maybe shouldn't be distracted, you know, by SMEs. Arguably, we can filter out those that are willing and able and ready to work with SMEs. So it saves time on the business's side when they go looking for somebody, even if they think somebody's there. Well, we can tell them, well actually, it may seem that way, but you know, it's not open for business in that respect just now. So we save that sort of time and angst and that tension, perhaps, that comes between the business-academia divide. We've got an understanding and appreciation of the work that our academics are involved in, and where we think they shouldn't be distracted, then fine, we kind of can protect them in that way. Equally, where they're open for business, that they've got expertise, that they're trying to reach out and engage with businesses, then we can filter that and make that available. So we rehearse that for the 3 Tayside HEIs. As I say, we represent more than just the University of Dundee, it's our sister university and the GHI. We run specific events and workshops, regular themed innovation workshops to bring together academic, industrial and other experts, just getting people in the room with a theme in mind, get people talking as you'd expect. We can run it for 30, 40 people. If that's the number of delegates that turn up, then great. We co-host it with other organisations, institute directors, chamber, whoever are looking to engender sort of an innovation theme and reach out to business. But equally, we've hosted events and there's only half a dozen people around the table. It might seem disappointing in the first instance, but actually that produced the best results for us. We got 2 sort of feasibility studies as a result of that. It was even more focused and targeted, and it's just getting the right people in the room, the right mix that works well. So we put a lot of effort into trying to achieve that. So if you've got any ideas for workshops or topics that you feel you want to get on the agenda, speak to us as well, and we can try and sort of co-host that with yourself or any other. And the hands-on facilitation, again, come back to our SME business development managers. We've got Jamie Henderson, Innovation Portal Manager, and now Fabian Seymour, the BioPortal Manager, who started with us in February. They're there to take the pain out of the bureaucracy and administration that goes with this sort of landscape. We recognise it's a necessary evil and it can't be ignored, but we can try and make it a little bit easier for you and take you through the process of dealing with our academics and the technology transfer offices that represent them. The Bio-KT Development Fund, this is, we like to think in this new Dundee model, this latest Dundee model, we're slightly ahead of the curve perhaps in trying to sort of bring these 3 components together. We've got grants of up to £20,000 or 45% of total project costs available for the purposes. The objective, increasing access to the IP of the universities and GHI for Scottish SMEs. HEIs will approach the IP arrangements on a joint and shared risk basis. We feel that's fair and reasonable, and particularly when there's value in the IP that we believe as well. No upfront payments necessary, and revenue share will be on success. So this is we're working this together and allowing the SME to drive this for the benefit of their company, for the benefit of the economy, for the benefit of potential collaboration with the university, which was if it kicks back to us ultimately that they sponsor some research and we can get some studentships out of that, then great. It's good for us. The postdocs arguably can move more readily now between sort of academia and business, but specifically targeted on the IP to develop that IP and take it further and add the value that we believe should accrue to that. And in so doing, in this engagement, we generate a more skilled workforce and ideally retain that workforce in Scotland. So, we feel we're ticking a lot of boxes here, not least in economic development, but in terms of leveraging our IP and trying to realise some value out of the IP for the benefit of a number of stakeholders. We like to think it's going to be a straightforward and fast application process with independent panel review. So, we're not looking to take our time or drag our heels over this. We'll try and facilitate it as quick as we can, and case by case basis. Talk to us if there's a project in the making. If we can put it together, then we'll turn it around insofar as we can. Priority will be given to the fledgling companies restricted from accessing other support. We recognise that certainly in life sciences, viability is questionable in the early stages, and sometimes they don't always pass strict financial audits. That's not to say that you have to pass certain criteria with ourselves, but KTPs may be out of the reach. Knowledge transfer partnerships might be out of reach of some of these companies in the first instance. So our intervention is slightly before that. Mini KTP, call it what you want perhaps, but it's a stepping stone to some further funding that we will equally help the companies sort of develop an application around. So it's a flexible package with the three key elements. The mandatory element to this is you have to be a Scottish SME. Okay, so that's who we're focused and targeted our activity on. If there's IP from the HEI that can make its way into that company, and if there's a postdoc available to work in the kind of developed IP, then great. It's a great combination. We pull them together, and we feel it's a win-win for all parties. The small grant scheme, just as it suggests, supports innovation products. We break it down into ITAs and TFSs. Initial technology audits and technology feasibility studies. Again, short, fast, straightforward application processes. We try to, fast track these. The ITAs is 100% grant. You buy one of our academics for a day, and they will basically work with you and look at the company and basically identify any problems and potential solutions. So it just opens the door. It doesn't cost you anything apart from the time on the SME's part, which is valuable, absolutely. Then if there's something in that, then we can go on to a TFS, 5,000 or 50% for the purposes, with a match from the SME in cash and or in kind. And again, we take the feasibility a little bit further, assess the IP, look at maybe some testing, and try and design a framework for a project. It might finish at that point, perhaps, but we like to think that there's a follow-on to that, and then we can go out into the landscape with all the grants that exist there, that we've got through the portal. We will have a good sense of the TSPs and the smarts that exist there. We're familiar with that language and the application forms as well, so we can take you through that. So you're getting a little bit of resource for the company. One of our earlier case studies was PCT, an Aberdeen-based company, one of Europe's leading ultrasound transducer suppliers for the military, civil and offshore oil and gas clients. The portal awarded a 5,000 technology feasibility study for PCT to work with IMSAT, the Institute of Medical Science and Technology. Professor Sandy Cochran was the key academic in that respect, and that allowed potential product areas to be examined and manufacturing challenges and establishing further activity in the medical devices sector. So it helped take a company in traditional sectors that it's been working in and move it and shift it into the medical devices through one of our experts in the field. The follow-on funding to that was a knowledge transfer project. It was successfully applied for and is ongoing as we speak. So trying to sort of develop a new market necessarily for that company. New to that company, not necessarily new to anybody else, but it's basically, it's opened up potential in that respect. Another TFS case study that we embarked upon was with East of Scotland growers who grow and supply quality assured produce. The portal approach to identify expertise in crop pathogen resistance. Head rot being a major cause of crop losses in broccoli, if you didn't know. The bacterial pathogen traditionally controlled using copper compounds, but soon like to be banned by the EU. So that the TFS with the James Hutton Institute in this instance helped identify potential new eco-friendly compounds that could provide an alternative to copper compounds. So, the markets are changing and shifting, and regulation, so the companies equally have to move with the times. So that TFS has led on to a successful application to the Technology Strategy Board to continue this work. So, we're fostering R&D within that company. We've opened up the doors to access SCR, the James Hutton Institute, and it's so far so good. And let's see what the outcome is in that respect. So just in trying to sort of recap a little bit some of the bullets in terms of increasing this SME access to Tayside HEI Life Sciences, there's a good bit of sharing and knowledge between the parties. We're exchanging experience, good and bad, and we need to learn from both. We like to promote best practice, and each and every dealing that we have, we can actually, learn from that and apply it to our next case. We're supporting collaboration and networks. That's fundamental to this kind of business, bringing people together of different mindsets, different cultures, and trying to sort of bridge that gap through, basically just networking activity. And the small grant scheme, the BioKT fund, they can help with assessing other collaborative grants. We help in the fundraising. It doesn't have to go through an ITA, TFS, BioKT fund. It can go straight to other forms of funding that are out there nationally, and we've got some experience and exposure in that. So if it can accelerate the process a little bit, as I say, take out some of the pain and time in that process for the business, then great. We're adding value in that respect. And yeah, as institutions, we're looking for collaborative research projects. Kick back to the university, sort of engage, retain. If it's strategically aligned with the institution's kind of plans, then we're very much welcome that. And if that is as an output downstream, that's very much good for us, and that begats more innovation and an entrepreneurial culture. The regional benefits clearly much stronger for the Tayside HEI sector. We're uniting that and bringing it together as one access point. It doesn't preclude you going directly to institutions. We're not about stopping that, but what we're making available is an entry point to the Tayside HEIs. Improving RTD and innovation across the region, that's got to be good. Helping SMEs take advantage of the R&D opportunities which exist locally. Getting to know what is there. Speak to a man who can. We've got that ability to know what's on our doorstep. If you're interested, speak to us. We'll let you know if there's something there for you or not. And if there is, then we've got a small slug of cash that we can throw your way as well, just to help facilitate the whole process. We also feel we're encouraging SMEs as well with limited experience of working with research partners. We do work with SMEs, we have done and will continue to do so. But we're keen to hear from new SMEs that haven't worked with us before, or SMEs that tried to work with us and perhaps couldn't come back and speak to us again, because it's an open door, and we'd be happy to hear from you. And equally, it's an outlet. The portal is an outlet for technology transfer offices to promote their opportunities. Our opportunities are available globally, but equally they're available locally and nationally as well. And Scottish SMEs are no different in that respect. So that's important to us. So the Dundee model again is an innovation and growth model. It's working and it's transferable. The innovation portal was there. It's evidence to that effect. BioPortal is now open for business. Whether you're in diagnostics, molecular biology, reagents, drug discovery, biotechnology, or medical devices, we cover the full gambit there. So if you think you're in that field and you want to sort of innovate and you want to do so in collaboration with Tayside HEIs, then speak to us and we'll see what we can't do for you. And indeed, the portal model, we have got plans to extend that further. If we can deliver on the BioPortal, then we feel that the creative industries is another key area, strength and excellence within Tayside. So, creation of a design portal is very much in our thinking, and we're working behind the scenes in order to try and put something in that focuses on the creative industries, with design as a particular theme there, and learning the lessons from the innovation portal and the BioPortal, and trying to sort of put something together that fits and suits and works for that particular sector, which has got different needs and different challenges, and different scale. But on the V&A is coming to town, as you'll have heard. So we'll need some sort of innovation model there that basically populates that, and a design portal, it could be a precursor to that. So we're really sort of excited about that sort of prospect. The team, that's me top left. I've got Fabian in the audience, just over in the corner there. You've got a chance to speak to him later today and tonight, and indeed tomorrow if you haven't already sort of booked a partnering session, then there's still time to do so. So he'll be able to sort of deal with matters there. And Jamie, who has been long-standing with us since the outset as well. We're based at the Dundee University Incubator, as I say, so it's a neutral kind of stomping ground. It's not the University of Dundee, it's not Abertay University, it's not JHI. It is neutral, but we've got a big footprint in each of these institutions. So it makes sense to give us a call if you're interested in doing some business there. We'd be very happy to hear from you. And I think that's all I've got to say. Am I running to time? Ish, give or take? Okay, thank you.